Good morning. Good morning, all of you. So let me start the one more session on simulation of ADE part. So here is a list of experiments that you have in part A. So one session we have seen this second experiment of part A, and we have tried to simulate this experiment. As I said, physically you have to do this experiment in the ADE lab, and also you have to simulate it using one of the simulator tool, that is using multislim. We do simulate the same experiment. So we have seen certain calculations on this experiment, and also we have gone with the simulation. Today we would see 555 timer experiment number 1 of part A, that is design an astable multi-vibrator circuit for 3 cases of the duty cycle, that is 50%, above 50%, right, less than 50%, and right, equal to 50%. So you could see the equal to 50%, less than 50%, and greater than 50%. So greater than 50%, maybe you can consider 70%. So less than 50%, maybe you can consider 30%. And also this is exactly equal to the 50%. That is, you need to calculate the resistors values for charging and discharging, right? And using those resistor values, you are going to design a circuit. That is a 555 timer IC. You are going to use it. There are certain functionalities of 555 timer. So let me briefly go that, so that we do spend more time on the simulation part. Okay. So here is a experiment to design and implement a stable multi-vibrator using 555 timer. So you could see the background of a 555 timer. Okay. So you could see the various pins on 555 timer. It is a 8-pin IC. So one is always being green connected to ground. So 8 always connected to the power supply. So always discharging happens through the pin number 7. And that is any discharge connection that you connect, that is being connected to pin number 7. Okay. 6 is a threshold. 5 always DC voltage at pin number 5. So 4 is a reset pin. Output, that is a CRO output, is connected to the pin number 3, right? So 2 is a trigger. So the same pins have been used in 555 timer for a circuit connection. Before you design a circuit for a 555 timer, so these are all the components that you need when you do it physically. Okay. 555 timer resistors, that is as per the design. If it is 50%, less than 50, above 50, right, you have to calculate the resistors value. So here is a theoretical part. So what are the common types of multi-vibrator? So you need to go through this theoretical part. I do focus today basically more on the calculations and the simulation part. Okay. You go through this theoretical part. Given the frequency f, we can calculate the time period, and given the duty cycle d, duty cycle is 70% or 50% or 30%. You have a capacitance. You can calculate the charging time and discharging time. Charging time is nothing but duty cycle multiplied with the time period. So time period is calculated. So these are all the standard formulas to go ahead in calculations of the resistors. So let me consider the case 1. Okay. So that is the duty cycle greater than 50. So before that, whenever the duty cycle is greater than 50, remember that always in the circuit design, capacitor charges through R1 and R2. And capacitor discharges through R2 only. This is, you have to be very much specific in design part. Whereas in the case of duty cycle less than 50 or equals to 50, so what do we do is the capacitor charges through R1 and R2. That is R1, the capacitor charges only through R1 since we do connect a diode. R2 is bypassed using a diode. So you will see in the circuit design. Whereas in the case of discharging, capacitor definitely discharges through the R2 only. So let me go to the calculation part. So these are all the calculation that you need to remember. These are all the standard formulas for duty cycle greater than 50. As I said, charging happens through R1 and R2. So we do consider R1 plus R2. So in the case of duty cycle less than 50, charging happens only through R1. R2 is bypassed by a diode. Hence we do consider only R1. Discharging definitely in both the cases through R2, R2. So you have the standard R2 values. So now let me consider this duty cycle for duty cycle greater than 50. Fine. So duty cycle greater than 50. Okay. So here is a 555 timer circuit connection. 4-8 and 4-8 is being connected to the DC voltage 12 volt supply. One is being grounded. So one is grounded here, also one is grounded. So charging happens here. Charging means you do supply a DC voltage, right? So charging happens through R1 plus R2. So charging happens through R1 plus R2, right? Whereas and it is being stored at capacitor. Discharging happens through only R2. Okay, discharging happens through only R2. The circuit connection is very simple. 4-8 connected to the DC voltage, 7 through a resistor to the VCC, same DC voltage. So 6 and 7 is being shortened with the resistor R2. 2, 6 you can shorten, and one terminal is being connected to the CRO. Another terminal is connected to the capacitor, 0.1 microfarad. Another end of the capacitor is grounded. Similarly, the pin number 5 is connected to the 0.01 microfarad. Another part is grounded. One definitely it has to be ground since pin number always by nature it has to be grounded for 555 timer. 3, pin number 3 always to the output. You could see it is to the here. If you remember this pin diagram to an extent, the circuit design is quite easy. Okay. So for the case circuit diagram for duty cycle less than 50%, very simple. As I said, charging happens through R1 only, R2 is bypassed. So same circuit connection. 6, 7 was shortened previously, no? So that is being bypassed with the diode. Bypassed by a diode in such a way that the positive terminal of the diode is connected to the pin number 7, negative terminal of the diode is connected to the 6. Physically, when you see a diode, you have a black mark on one side. So that is being treated as a negative side, right? So that has to be connected at the pin number 6. As of now, this is a symbolic representation for a diode. So plus means this edge of a triangle type shape, the base of triangle is plus. So the peak of it being connected with the negative side. For diagrammatically, it is quite easy. Physically, when you see, so we have a black mark on the diode. So that part is connected as a negative. So charging happens here through R1 and not R2, it is being bypassed. So charging happens DC voltage R1, bypass. Again, it is go to the capacitor C. Discharging happens through, again, the capacitor R2. Okay, from here, again, you can look back, it is R2. So I have shown you the main formula part. So I'm going to show you the calculations for the frequency, given frequency F equals to 1 kilohertz, duty cycle is equals to 70%. Correct? So given the frequency T equals to 1 by F. So what is 1 kilohertz? 1 by the 1000, that is 1 millisecond. You calculate the time period. Now duty cycle, it is being given 70% of the duty cycle means 0.7. So how do you calculate So 0.7 duty cycle is nothing but TC by T. You can calculate TC. So TC divided by 1. Okay. So TC is calculated. It is a 0.7. Now I need to calculate TD. Sorry, TD is nothing but 1 minus TC. 1 minus TC is 0.3. So you have TC value and TD value. Fine. Now I need to calculate the resistor value. Taking into the consideration C value is equal to 0.1 microfarad. Substituting these values into this charging formula TC for a case of duty cycle greater than 70%, 0.693 R1 plus R2 into C. So this is a formula for duty cycle greater than 50. I do proceed here, substitute all TC TD value, right? This is a charging formula. This is discharging formula. For the discharging formula, 0.693 R2 into C, because discharging happens only through R2. So now here from the equation 2, I can directly calculate the resistor value R2. Is it or not? 0.693, only unknown value is R2. So you do calculate, you get 4.33 kilo ohm. Now substituting these values of R2 in equation 1, we can get the R1 value. Fine. So now we have found the values for an R1, R2 for the case duty cycle greater than 50. Similarly, if the given frequency f equals to 1 kilohertz, duty cycle exactly equals to 50%, same, calculate T. What is D? D is duty cycle. Duty is, since it is 50% given, it is 0.5. So you can calculate TC. TC is nothing but TC by T is equals to 0.5 millisecond. Calculate the discharge time. T minus TC equals to 1 minus 0.5 millisecond. So taking the same capacitor value 0.1 microfarad, you need to calculate, substitute these values into the two equation, charging 0.693 R1 0.1 microfarad. So this is the standard equations we have. Here we don't have a concept. Charging happens only through R1. R1 will not come to the picture, and R2 discharging happens through R2. Substitute these values and you can directly find the values at R1 and R2. You could see both R1 and R2 values are equal resistors. This is for the second case. Similarly, you have to do for a third case. So less than 50% for duty cycle, 40%, you can, that is, you can consider 0.4 as a D, and you calculate the new resistor value. And for practical purpose, we do take a nearby values. 4.33 maybe exactly it is not available. 5.77 maybe it is not exactly available. So we do consider the nearby value, right? This is all about the theoretical part of a 555 timer, right? This is all about the, and I need to show you the diagrammatical representation over here. Fine. Okay. So this is for a duty cycle less than 50. This is a duty cycle greater than 50. So we will conduct this experiment. Fine. Fast. So you understand the concept. So here is the output that you need to get. This is the input, charging, discharging. This is the output waveform that you need to get against this TCTD. So from here to here, it is a charging, it reaches the peak, and from here it goes on discharging. This is discharging, again charging, again it goes discharging. Try to understand. So during this period, it charges. In fact, this is for a 50% cycle. So you could see charging time is equal to discharging time. Why? Because we have seen taken the duty cycle equals to 50. This is a time period being taken charging. So in CRO, we have different calculations to calculate the charging time and discharging time. We'll show you the calculations on that. Okay, so here is the same thing. See, same circuit diagram. This is for a second case. Same calculations, what we have done. So here is the calculation. See, frequency for 1 kilohertz, duty cycle 0.7. So these are all the CRO reading value. When you come physically to the lab, you are going to go do this. So you get around the nearby 0.7, 0.3. So you add 1 millisecond here. This is the table. Then since 1 millisecond, so F equals to 1 by T, 1 by 1 millisecond equals to 1 kilohertz. So calculate duty cycle D equals to TC by T. Practically, we are doing this. We are matching this value with the theoretical value 0.7 with 0.7. Similarly, you have to do one more column over here, that is in simulation. So whether you get these value. Okay, in the simulation, you get the same value that you have to do it. Fine. Okay, this is the first case, all of you. So let me go with this first case, and if time permits, let us go to the second case also. We'll do two cases. Duty cycle greater than 50. So here is a circuit diagram. So we'll go to the multisim and we'll do the experiment. So all of you, you get the multisim installed and you do this experiment in multisim. So when you double click, you get an interface of a multisim. So as we have seen the first experiment, in fact, that is the second experiment I did first because it was an easy experiment. That is the 741 op-amp relaxation oscillator. This is the first experiment. Since we have lot many cases, I have taken this as a second experiment. Now, triple FI timer I said. So here is an interface. File new you can take. In the mixed, you have triple FI timer. Click on the triple FI timer. Triple FI virtual. Press OK. It is being placed over here. Right. Now what we have to do? See the circuit connection. Okay, let us design this. And knowing the values of R1 and R2, all of you. So knowing the values of R1 and R2, we'll design it. Okay. So what is the value of R1 and R2? So it is being calculated. I request you to remember that. Remember, R1 is 5.77, R2 is 4.33. 5.77, 4.33. Fine. Now coming to the circuit, 4.8 and 4.8 is being connected to 12 volt EC. Okay. So 4.8. So we'll short 4 and 8. Fine. And this is connected to the DC voltage. So take the DC voltage, positive terminal of the DC voltage, 4.8 shorten. Anywhere you can connect it, either here or either here. So this has to be grounded. This part is over now. Fine. 4.8 is shorted, connect to the DC voltage plus volt. Now 7 is being connected to a resistor and is same connected to the DC voltage. 7, pin number 7, to a resistor. So resistor value of R1 is 5.77, 5.77 to pin number 7. Take a resistor, virtual, keep it over here, 5.7 kilo ohm. Yes, it is being connected to the pin number 7, right? One part is pin number 7, another part is connected to the same DC voltage, right? So you can take either another more DC voltage. I have connected for the simplicity to the same DC voltage. Now you see the circuit, 7 through R1, another part is connected to the same plus voltage DC. Either you can take separate DC voltage or the same I have used it. And 6, 7 has to be shortened with resistor R2 with the resistor value 4.33. 6, 7 has to be shortened. 6, 7 has to be shortened. So I'll take one more resistor, virtual. Its value is 4.33. 4.33 kilo ohm, right? So one part has to be connected to pin number 6. Another part has to be connected to pin number 7, right? 6, 7 shortened through this, 6, 7 shortened through a resistor. 2 6 has to be shortened, all of you. 2 6 had to be shortened. So simply you short over here. Yes, 2 6 has been shortened, right? So at pin number 2, we have to connect to the CRO, and also we have to connect to the capacitor 0.125. Pin number 2 to be to the capacitor, pin number 5 to the capacitor, different capacity 0.1 and 0.01. So we'll take two capacitors over here, virtual. Okay, another capacitor, virtual. So we'll take this as a 0.1 microfarad, 0.1, fine. This is 0.01, 0.01 microfarad. So pin number, it has to be connected to the pin number 2 and 5. Pin number 2. So one part is connected to the pin number 2. Okay. So another capacitor, pin number 5. Okay. So now take a ground. So I have taken a single ground. Ground this another end over here. Fine. So see the circuit connection. 2 connected to the capacitor, 5 is connected to the 1 is being grounded. Again, you can take the same for granted. Ground, or else for a convenient, if you have a confusion, you can take another ground and do it. For example, so if you have a confusion and problem with the circuit connection, take one more ground and connect it over here. So it looks convenient even for this case also. Right, let me continue. So one is being grounded. Now see what is being left. 3 to the CRO we have to connect, 2 to the input of the CRO. We take a CRO and connect to the input output, right? Fine. We take a CRO. 2 to the CRO. And 3 to the CRO. And take one more ground, connect it to the ground. Fine. I'll just save this. So I have one more file that I created for a 555 timer. Just wanted to show you. So previously done. So we'll verify any. Okay, fine. Okay. I'll open my file. This is just now been created. So let us run the simulation. Let us see we will get the simulation part or not. So I hope we have completed the circuit, because any one thing is missed, you're not able to get the thing. 1 grounded, 5 through a capacitor, 2 through a capacitor, 2 6 shorten, 6 7 through a resistors. All this connected to the DC voltage. Fine. So connected to the CRO. Fine. Hopefully we have done everything. Now let us run the simulation. So I have run the simulation and I'll double click. Yes, you're able to get the waveform. So now I'll just change the scale. Okay. See, now you could see the charging and discharging time. So I'll just off this. Okay. Now I'll scroll over here. Now just focus this waveform, any one waveform. How to calculate the charging time? Half of the cycle. Okay, charging happens still here. Okay, this complete cycle, you just see my mouse pointer. This complete cycle is a charging time. Clear? So this complete cycle is a charging time. You could see what is here you could get T2 minus T1 is 719, almost nearby to the yes, it is almost nearby to the 700. Is it or not? 696 or 6 nearby to the 700, 708 as such. For the charging time, it is taking 700 microseconds. So that is 70% duty cycle. Again, let me go to the discharging time. It is taking exactly 300. Clear? Coming to the calculations. You have a charging time T2 minus T1. So T1, T2 minus T1 in the case of when I focus here on the charging, this complete cycle is a charging, this complete cycle is a discharging. So in the peak also, see this part is a charging. How do you measure this part? You focus on this till peak, it is a charging, right? So it is 685 or nearby to the 700. The same thing we have seen in the calculations here. Yes, here is the calculations. This is the practically you have done it. In the simulation, you create a column over here. So you calculate this, right? The charging time is 700, discharging time is 300 microsecond, right? So you add it, you'll get 1 millisecond. Remember, when you add that TC plus TD, TC is 700, TD is 300. When you add this, you'll get 1 millisecond. So you can calculate the frequency. So 1 kilohertz. Again, you can calculate the duty cycle, TC by T. So TC is 700, 700 divided by the 1 kilohertz, you get 0.7. So exactly matching to the practical value, right? So again, I'll close this. So let me go to the second case because we have some time. So we'll see the changes to the simulation. So we'll take a diode and for a duty cycle and we'll change the resistors value. The resistor value is 7.21, nothing you have to do, 7.21, 7.21 kilo ohm. You have to change the resistor value and also what you have to do, you have to bypass the resistor R2 with the diode. Okay, in this manner. First, let me change the resistor value 7.21, 7.21 kilo ohm. Even this resistor value 7.21 kilo ohm, 7.21 kilo ohm. Fine. Then what you have to do? You have to bypass this with the diode. Is it or not? 6, 7. You take a diode. Okay, we'll take a virtual diode only. Take a diode. Okay. Okay. As per the diagram, we'll just make convenient. Okay, fine. Now you see what you do. One end to the pin number 7, one end to the pin number 6. Okay. One end to the pin number 7, this end to the pin number 7, this end to the pin number 6. We are just bypassing. Okay. Just bypassing this resistor R2. So in pin number 6, 7, you could see we have a resistor that is being connected. In between pin number 6 and 7, we have a resistor that we are bypassing it. Now we'll run the simulation and we'll see the charging and discharging time. Okay. Now again, you stop the simulation. I'll pause and you measure the charging and discharging time. .437. So charging. 496. There is a variation. So let us see that 7.21 kilo ohm, 7.21 kilo ohm under a simulation. When we took equal resistor value, so in fact nearby value is there, but we are going to get nearby to the 50% duty cycle. Okay. Similarly, you can do for a third case also. Okay, you have to do for a third case also. This is a circuit diagram we have designed for the second case. Fine. The calculations are very simple. You need to calculate the charging and discharging time. So charging time, how do you consider? From the starting to the peak where it has reached. This is a charging time. So T2 minus T1, it is 430 microseconds. So from here, again, discharging time, you just focus on from peak falling down here in this case. So from here to here, again, this is a T2 minus T1 value. So that has to be calculated. Fine. Okay, so these are all the two things that you have to do. Again, for less than duty cycle less than 30. So what you have to do is, that is will take 40%. If you want to see the calculations, you can see duty cycle equals to 40%. Given frequency f equals to 1 kilohertz, duty cycle d equals to 40, t equals to 1 by f, 1 millisecond. So calculate d equals to 0.4 tc by t, tc is 0.4 millisecond, and td equals to 1 minus 0.4, 0.6 millisecond. So capacitor is 0.1 microfarad. Substituting these values, you need to calculate tc. Same formula. In this case also, the circuit diagram is charging happens only through R1, discharging happens only through R2. So you use the diode to bypass. So you will see the calculated values of the resistors are R1 and R2, right? So these values have to be taken. So practical value, if we don't have 5.77, so 5.6 and 8.2. Similarly, see here, all of you, the mistake what we did, we took 7.21, 7.21, but practically we have only 8.2 and 8.2 kilo ohm. So I'll show you, I'll just modify this into 8.2 kilo ohm. So then you'll see a quite difference. So before that, we have to off the simulation, 8.2 kilo ohm for a 50% duty cycle, because practical values are not available for that 7.22. So 8.2 kilo ohm. Now you could see the equal duty cycle. That's why we saw certain difference in the waveform. Fine. So here is the answer. For the second case, when you calculate, you get 7.21, 7.21, but fact wise we have to take 8.2, 8.2 practical value, that is available value, resistor values. Even for the third case, 8.6, 8.6, 5.77, but nearby value is 5.6 and 8.2. Fine. So again, we'll run the simulation, same simulation for a second case. Let us see the waveform. Okay. So let us, now you see the difference over here. It is exactly 50% for a duty cycle probably. So this is a charging. See, 515 microsecond we have got. Again, discharging nearby to 508. So almost the same T2 minus T1. T2 is nearby to the 500, 500. So when you come to the practical values, you use that value in the table. In this value. So for duty cycle, second case 0.5, you calculate on CRO value, that is physically, but for us, this is important. So you calculate TC by simulation 500 500. So T equals to TC plus TD, you will come around 1 millisecond. We have considered in micro, so 1 millisecond you'll get. You calculate the frequency, F equals to 1 by T, 1 kilohertz you'll get. Again, you can calculate the duty cycle is equals to TC by T. You are going to get 0.5. So this is all about the experiments on 555 timer using multisim. So you have 3 experiments to be performed. So we have done Opham, very easy experiment. Since he has given only 1 kilohertz, I've taught you only 1 kilohertz. If they tell you to change the frequency, that is 800 kilohertz, you should be able to find the new values of the resistance and do the experiment. 555 timer, obviously you have 3 cases. So all the 3 cases should be shown in the simulation. The calculation part has to be shown, and also the circuit design has to be shown. It is a quite lengthy experiment. Even when you do in the lab physically, you have all the 3 cases to be shown. So, and this is the third one. Third one is also one of the easy experiment, that is a window comparator. So in the next session, I'll show you that also. So basically now we are going to show you only the simulation part using multisim. So same thing has to be done practically in the lab using the physical diodes and CROs. Okay. So let me stop the session.